Yeah.
Hi. I'm actually on here because it's for my daughter.
Okay.
So she was on the shielded list initially during lockdown. And so she went from obviously having quite a normal life and going to school and PE and exercise to basically she was sat at her desk. And right in the middle of lockdown, during the peak, we had to call an ambulance because her back seized up.
Okay.
So the hospital did say it was muscular, and obviously she'd gone from being more active to quite sedentary. She has started doing some exercises at home, but initially they sent us home with painkillers, which obviously they needed to do.
Hmm.
But the fear is, she's only 15, that if it seizes up again, obviously we don't want to go through that. If she feels the pain coming on, should she do certain exercises, or is there, should she jump into sort of stretches and things like that, or is this, should we try something else first?
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, there's almost three phases when you've had an acute flare-up of back pain. So the first phase is the really angry, can't move stage, which is where you call the ambulance and the doctors give you the pain relief just to get the muscles relaxed. And that's the kind of scary phase where you physically feel like you can't move and it's horrendously painful. And in that phase, stretching wouldn't be a good idea for sure. And that typically lasts for 3 days, the really bad phase. Then for the next 7 to 10 days, then it sort of reduces slightly. And then the next phase is what's called the subacute phase, which is where whatever was injured is now healing and the tissue is remodeling. That's when stretching, exercising is useful to enable the back to heal properly, but also to start working on the problem of why it happened in the first place. And then the third phase, which is where the vast majority of the healing's occurred, is where we want to be treating the root cause. So that's where we wind back to when it first happened and find out why it happened. And if there is an area in the body which needs to be stronger or more mobile, or if there was too much sitting or if there was too much sport or something, that's when we start to really put the brakes on it happening again. And that's when you do much more exercise. So there's almost like the first phase, which is, let it settle. Generally, there might be 1 or 2 stretches, therapeutic exercise, which are just going to give you pain relief. Then the next phase, you're going to do a little bit more. You're going to start to rebuild the flexibility that she's lost, and start to reactivate those tummy muscles and get everything firing up again. And then the last phase, which is when the pain's largely gone, is when we might be doing heavier work. We might be doing work to really put the brakes on it happening again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect sense.
So
I think it was actually just the fear of, obviously she's quite young, 15 is quite
yeah.
a young age to suddenly sort of put your back out, and it's
Mm.
quite scary, and for it to seize up. And I think, and obviously the more stress she got, the worse it kind of felt, and the more tense her body got. And I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we were just slightly anxious about
Yeah.
occasionally her feeling that twinge again and think, right, okay, what do we do so that it
Yeah.
doesn't completely seize up? We don't want to be in that situation again.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, once you've had a scary experience like that, anytime you experience any twinge or feeling in the back, you're going to start to think, oh my, is it going to happen again? And you need to kind of, I don't know if you've spoken to the doctor or anyone, but yeah, I think getting an understanding of what's happened, why it happens, and understanding that there's different types of pain as well, it helps to give you peace of mind and helps to kind of get rid of that fear a little bit. Because if every time you feel a twinge in your back and you get that fear, you're going to end up back in hospital, then if that happens in 6 months' time, where she feels a tiny little twinge and she's always got that kind of fear in the background, and she's hasn't been educated on what's normal and what the normal healing process is, then she's going to be kind of carrying that around, and it's kind of important to get the right information, just so you and her can have a bit more peace of mind, and feel, like you understand what phase she's in, and understand what's normal and what's not normal, and when you need to be worried and when you don't need to be worried. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
That's my pleasure. So I think we're slowly, hi Rupert.
Hi.
And I can tell you more information. But I think we've covered everything today. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay, cool, awesome. Well, I think we've just got 3 minutes left, so it's probably the perfect time